99X, it's the Morning X, Barnes and Leslie. Fram, if you ever want to get back into dating, there's a day coming called Valentine's Day, which is sooner than you think.
I have so many friends that are single that need help.
And that's when the depression starts. But I've got someone here who is the end-all, be-all expert on dating. I mean, she has been with all these apps, a spokesperson before for like OkCupid and Match and Bumble. Her name, and by the way, she's also on the Drew Barrymore show all the time as the official love expert. Please welcome Damona Hoffman to the show. Hey, Damona.
Yay. Thanks for having me back.
Good to see you. You were on the Pop Culture Show. You're an OG.
Yes.
I'm an OG. I'm an OG dating coach, too. Like, now you throw a rock and you hit a dating coach on TikTok. But
Exactly.
But I've actually been doing this for 17 years now, so I'm like an OG.
Congrats and congratulations on your new book, F the Fairytale.
Thank you.
Oh, we have to hear
love.
about this book. This is, you can go to fthefairytalebook.com, available ebook, hardbook, audiobook, wherever books are sold. But
Thank you.
I have several single female friends. It's so hard now to figure out where to meet people, what to do. But this book just head on addresses factors like race, class, gender. Can you talk a little bit about, you have this part in the book about the 4 myths. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, as I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and I have identified that there really are 4 big myths, 4 broken beliefs that we have come to believe. And it comes from everywhere, from rom-coms, from fairy tales themselves, from our families of origin, from our communities.
Like word of mouth, right? People say something and you just believe it.
Yeah. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. And so I identified the 4 biggest myths that keep people stuck in love. And they are, if you'd like to know, you can read the book, but I'll give you the Cliff's Notes. They're the list myth. People that come in with a list a mile long and haven't really spent time thinking about those things you just mentioned, Leslie, like what all of those elements are that make up the right match for you, instead of just making a list or dating by rote. Then we run into the rules myth. Did you ever read the rules?
Yes.
There's the rules, there's the game, Barnes. I don't know. That one might have missed you. But there's there are so many. I mean, even we were just talking about TikTok and how people are always looking for a hack for everything. And we want to, like, quote, play the game, but there is no game. That's the thing that's crazy. There's no game. It's just about authenticity. Then we run into the chemistry myth, like, I want to feel butterflies, which we know is not really true. And when you feel butterflies, it's actually probably a sign of something else going on. And then the worst one, the very worst myth, is the soulmate myth. And, when I started researching for this book, I was like, people don't really believe in soulmates.
They do.
Not true.
Oh, they do.
Not true.
Yes.
Most people do believe in soulmates. When I asked OkCupid to look into their matching questions, they had one that said, is a soulmate worth waiting for? 90% of people said yes. And I was like, what are we waiting for? I need to give people a roadmap to do this the right way.
Yeah, those myths, it's funny. You talk about all of these things forever. When I say you, people, it's always circulating around you. And so you just kind of come to grow up believing these things, and then you start kind of with the fantasy looking for them.
Yes. Yeah, we love stories, don't we? We fall in love with stories, and then we start telling them to ourselves. And even the story could be as small as, like, even, Leslie, you just said a second ago, like, dating is so hard. That's actually a story, and I hear it from a lot of my Dates and Mates listeners and a lot of my clients that they have come to believe that dating is hard today. But it's different. I don't know that I would say it's quote, hard, but it does require a bit of a shift of perspective and identifying what these things are that we repeat to ourselves and again and again that may be keeping us from moving into the relationships that we want.
We're hanging out with Damona Hoffman. She's the love expert on the Drew Barrymore show. Have you seen this new app called Skip?
I got a look-see at it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a new app for 2024. And the skip part of it is that they're eliminating the chat feature, which, every dating app that you've worked with, they all have it. And they're claiming, I guess, that that's a bad thing. What do you think?
It's funny, Barnes, because we're like in a dating online dating renaissance right now because I've been in this game for so long. It's like I've seen it all. We've had apps and sites like this before. There's a high level of frustration right now with the chat, as you said, because people want to get onto the dates. And we got accustomed during the pandemic to a very fast rate of dating. And I'm not here for the super fast dating where you're going on 3-4 dates a week and you're chatting with multiple people, because that is a very chaotic way to date. But also there is discovery in the chat because a lot of the apps have pulled back on the amount of information in the profiles. When I met my husband online, I basically read a book on him before we even met. Now all that has to happen in the chat. So I'm really curious with Skip if it's going to mean that people have enough information to decide they want to go on the date. And also for particularly women need to feel safe on dating apps and before they go on dates. So I'm curious how they will create that sense of safety.
Yeah, the thing about it is I think too many people are lying in there and they're creating these false images of themselves. Some of the things, just in case you're wondering, for this new app, it's called Skip. They're reducing the average of 4 days of chatting on traditional to down to 30 minutes to land a date on Skip. You set deal breakers, custom deal breakers to ensure compatibility before you meet, and then only matches that pass these deal breakers can RSVP for a date. Women can set the date location, and users can share details with family and friends. So it looks like some interesting twists. Anyway, if you're interested, the new app is called Skip.
We are talking to dating coach Damona Hoffman. You can see her on the Drew Barrymore Show. Your new book, F the Fairytale. A lot of my friends are, professionals, and they have a hard time meeting men outside of their circle because, they don't want to date anybody that they work with or that are in the same business. What are some recommendations for professional women? Because you talk about that in this book.
I do. We have gotten so reliant on dating apps that we forgot that there are all these other ways to meet people. So I'll give the Morning X listeners a hot tip from the book, and then they can read it to get more. But I actually play a game with my clients. I call it the Where Are They game. And we have to identify what are the actual qualities that go on that list. Because it's not that you should date with no criteria. It's just we need to examine what's actually on that list. And when we develop a more effective list that lines up with what we ultimately want in a partner, then we play a little game. Like, well, where would this person be hiding? How can I expand my dating pool? Because we get stuck in our own circles and our own routines, and you do have to shake it up. And sometimes you can have fun with it, and it can lead you to doing something a little different that can bring new people into your life.
That makes sense.
You can check out the book, fthefairytalebook.com. Her name is Damona Hoffman. You can see her on the Drew Barrymore Show. When are you on next?
On Thursday, actually.
Nice.
We'll be talking about F the Fairytale.
We should have Damona on for, Valentine's Day, maybe some listener questions.
Yeah, people looking for love or maybe who just want to get, more in. Because, there is no one that knows more about dating online than Damona. So, Damona, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
A lot of people in the States are meeting online. You ever meet anybody online? That's kind of creepy, I think. I dated a Jewish girl. We met on Christian Mingle. That was weird. And then I dated a arsonist. We met on Match.com. And her profile said she could light up a room. She was not around, I'll tell you that. Ironically, that ended with a burning sensation when I would urinate, so I'm glad it's over. But I dated a really tall woman. We met on Ancestry.com. No, that was Amazon.com.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie. 99.